Hey everyone, welcome back. It's Mobius Y here again with a little bit of a surprise tank talk. It's a little different because I'll be covering the premium Japanese Chi Tier 5 medium tank. This will be the first tank talk I've done on a premium tank. I just felt like I should cover it to give a basic idea of how this tank works and why I think those with a bit of cash to spend should pick this tank up. So yeah, Chi, first Japanese tank, so it's basically coming out preceding the Japanese line. Now the entire Japanese tech tree, there's really only two lines, one that goes all the way to Tier 10, and it ends with the STB-1 Tier 10 medium tank, which is, from what I've been told and what I've looked up, a great little medium tank. Strong turret armor, 10 degrees of gun depression, best DPM out of all the Tier 10 heavies with a 105mm gun. Looks like a really good, fun medium tank. So the main reason that I picked up this Chi is I didn't want to make the same mistake I did with the French line. I didn't have a premium tank purchased, either the FCM 50-ton or the FCM 36 Pack 40 Tier 3 tank destroyer. I didn't buy either of those and pre-train a crew before the French line came out because I wanted the back chat. So I said, okay, this time I'm going to get this Chi, this Japanese premium tank, because there's really only one tank in the entire Japanese tree that interests me. I've done a lot of research on the others down that line, and even some of the other higher tier mediums. They don't interest me at all, so it's time to spend some of that free XP that several of you have commented on. I'm just going to skip the whole frickin' line and get an STB-1 the day it drops. Yay, Wallet Warrior! Oh boy. Anyways, so this Chi, I'm playing it to train a crew here, basically, and it's actually a pretty effective crew trainer. The one positive note about the Chi is the gun. Fully aimed in, it's quite accurate for Tier 5, and it's quite punchy for Tier 5 as well, especially the premium rounds. They have about 160, 170 pen average, somewhere around there. And you can see I'm shooting at this enemy Chi here. I was fully aimed in. That was a fully aimed in reticule, and it basically filled his tank. Pretty frickin' accurate. And I'm hitting them for, you know, around 120 or so. The alpha is 125. I should have been paying more attention. This M8A1 was able to sneak up on me here, but I'm able to easily take him out. Although I'm not positioned properly, so I'm taking shots in my butt at the same time. So I'm just trying to get behind the hill here before I get taken out too early. But this Matilda will finish me off in about 2 seconds here. I guess my ass was exposed. One more shot on that T50 here, and I believe right about here is where I got taken out. Yep, there's the Matilda shooting at the ground there. Shot the ground again. I just backed up, and then he finally whacks me. So, there we go. So, as you can see, good gun, punchy, pretty accurate, decent shell velocity, but, you know, every premium tank has a few more negatives than positives. The health pool is quite low, and this thing has no armor, so anything will penetrate you. Sans auto bounce. I have bounce shots, but they were poorly aimed shots, and they weren't going to. Our team is getting slaughtered. Look at this. This KV-1 is shooting at these other KVs. It looks like a KV-220. Yeah, KV-220 and an enemy KV-1 just have full-on broadside shots in him. Look at that. He's just going to get torn apart. Anyways, our team's going to lose pretty quickly here. So the negatives about the Chi. For a medium tank, not very mobile either. It can top out at about 35-40 kilometers an hour on flat ground, but it takes a while to accelerate there. The traverse speed is it's only about 32-34 degrees per second, which is pretty bleh for a medium tank. And of course, we have a medium tank hiding in this corner here because reasons. Well, this guy's slugging it out. Okay, this guy's completely broadside to this other KV-220, and he's having trouble. Oh boy, so we've got one in the corner, we got a KV-220 who, okay. I'm going to stop talking about my teammates now. I'm going to enjoy seeing that KV-1's damage at the end of the game here, but I mean, this guy, I don't know what he's doing. I don't know what he's doing. Oh, and we have another friendly Chi. So, Anyways, the poor things. Not that great traverse speed. It's only about 30, 34 degrees, I believe, which is somewhat acceptable. It'd be better. It'd be, you know, a bit better with clutch braking. But the soft stats that are not listed in this game, you have to look them up. The soft stats like ground resistance and whatnot, and gun dispersion and all that, the on-the-move accuracy is awful. And the ground resistance is freaking terrible, so you're very rarely traversing the treads at full traverse speeds. And this guy's backing back up into the corner again. I don't know what this guy's thought processes were. I'm top tier in a KV-1, I better hide. There's nothing I can do. Oh boy, it's players that do this kind of crap that is really turning me off from this game these days. I guess I'm just playing it too much. But well, what can you do? He'll do what he wants to do. Okay, I'm getting way too distracted here. I apologize. So, like I said, a Chi-No-Kai mobility not that great. Overall mobility not that great. And this is what I like about the ease of the team list. I'm just going to go ahead and mute this guy and avoid him because he's just going to sit there and do nothing. So, you know, thanks for being completely unhelpful. I don't ever want to play with you again. All right. Anyways. So, yeah, good gun, poor mobility, poor armor, fairly low hit points. The view range is kind of bleh. So we'll see how I did there. Decent XP. Decent XP. Did some decent damage, about twice what I suffered by getting destroyed. And we had 5 people on our team goose egg for 0 damage. Of course, there was 3 on the other team as well, but this guy down here apparently traveled the greatest distance out of everybody. At 1.18 kilometers. I don't know what he was doing or where he went, but he ended up doing nothing. Whatever. What can you do? So, I still got a decent XP haul there, so, and that, the XP earned in game goes directly to the crew. So, back in the garage here, just going to open up the quote-unquote package on the Chi-No-Kai here, just to give some basic stats here. So it's got a 7.5 centimeter gun and a fairly weak engine. It's rated at only a tier 4 engine. That's why it's not that great. As you can see, it only has 240 horsepower, hence, you know, pretty poor maneuverability. The 7.5 centimeter gun, like I said, 124 pen, 125 damage. The premium rounds, 155 pen, pretty dang decent. And the HE rounds, 175. For damage. Accuracy 0.37, that's quite good for tier 5. 2.29 aiming time, that's fairly average. You see it often. 12 rounds a minute, doesn't shoot that fast. You know, you got about a 4 or 5 second reload. So with the equipment that I have on, though, it's cutting the reload down to more like 4 seconds. Enhanced gun laying drive, because the on-the-move accuracy is such crap. I don't feel like improving on it with the vertical stabilizer. I wanted better aim time, so gun laying drive. Caliber tank gun rammer, obviously, and coated optics because I wanted to up that view range a bit. So, yeah, that's the base hard stats for the Chi-No-Kai. Just wanted to take a quick look there. We'll jump back into another game here on Cliff. A standard battle here on Cliff. And while this game goes on, it goes absolutely horrible. There's 4 KV-1s and a KV-220 on our team, and they all went into Death Valley. And we got freaking steamrolled because of that. So while this game goes on, you'll see a pair of Chi-No-Kais on the other team there as well. They actually do quite good this game. So it sounds like I'm kind of saying a few bad things about the Chi-No-Kai here, but you know what? To be totally honest, it's not a super mobile sniper like, you know, the Leopard 1, for example, or even some of the lower tier Su-100 or Su-85 Russian tank destroyers. But it's mobile enough, and you can use that to your advantage to get to positions that you can use to shoot at enemy vulnerable points. There's only a couple tanks that I've had trouble penning with this thing, because 124 pen, that's pretty dang good for tier 5. There's only a couple tanks that I've had trouble with, and that would be, you know, KV-1s, KV-1Ss, KV-2s, KV-220s, and Churchill 7s. Those are pretty much the only tanks that I had some difficulty penning. Most anything else, if I shoot anywhere but the mantlet, it's not a guaranteed pen if it misses, but typically if it hits a flat enough piece of armor, it'll damage them. So it's quite nice. So as you can see here, sadly I stopped and looked at that scout tank, and that's probably what's going to get me killed here. I'm just not mobile enough to get into this position that I usually like to take in my medium tanks. I'm just not quick enough. You can see I'm barely clocking out at 35 kilometers an hour here. And that's what I'm saying. The ground resistance is pretty terrible. So here's a friendly Chinukai. I'm just trying to get out of his way. And we've got a pair of enemy Chinukais closing in quite quickly. So another positive about the Chinukai is it's actually got pretty decent gun depression. I can't remember if it's 6 degrees or 7 degrees. It feels... the best comparison I could give it to in terms of gun depression is it feels like an E50M for gun depression. So I would say -6, maybe -7 degrees of gun depression. So it's decent enough. You can get shots where you need to get them to, and you know, it works out okay. Now, another thing to point out here is it's not just the tracks that have poor traverse. The turret does not have very good traverse either. It turns quite slowly, and I just got wasted right there. Yeah, two enemy Chinukais. Sorry, those guys ended up actually doing very good in this game. So good job on them. Seeing plenty of Chinukais here, so that's essentially what the tank is like. I'll just I'll discuss more of what's going through my head in the future games here. Sorry, I'm stuttering quite a bit. It's been a long day. As you can see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 KV-1s down Death Valley, and there's the KV-220, and that's why we got steamrolled. Oh, and the Churchill 1. The Churchill 3 is all alone up here. Or, sorry, one of the Churchill 1s is all alone up here, up top by the lighthouse. There's a Churchill 3 that tried to back him up, but wow. Out of our, let's see, 8 heavy tanks, 6 of them went down Death Valley. Okay, so, map tactics. Quick overview. Sending, how many is that? Sending 3/4 of your heavy tanks down Death Valley is a very bad idea. At any tier. Lesson learned. Okay, so, like I said, the Chinukai, not super mobile, but you know what, it's mobile enough you can get your gun where needed to get shots into more vulnerable sides or rears of tanks when they're not paying attention at you. But the gun itself is punchy enough where if you're trading shots, or, well, you don't essentially want to be trading shots, but if you're peekabooing on somebody, you can poke out, give it a second to aim in, and shoot at them, and hit them at a flat piece of armor, and you're more than likely to pen. Good punchy gun. It's great. It lets you dish out quite a bit of damage. It doesn't exactly have great DPM, but like I said, the gun's punchy enough where if you just play smart, pick your shots, and reduce your exposure as much as possible, you can actually rack up a decent amount of total damage over the course of the game. As you'll see, the enemy Chinukai here on the other team in the post game, he actually gets a good amount of damage here in this game. Now, that's why I feel this tank is actually a good pre-trainer for Japanese crews if you're interested in training a scout crew or training a medium crew for the full line, because you can deal quite a bit of damage over the course of a game and get a lot of XP for it. Like this guy. Great game by Grimshold, 1298. 2,027 damage with 6 tanks destroyed, 3 medals earned. It looks like one of them was a sniper medal. 21 shots hit, 21 shots fired, 21 hits. So one of them was clearly a sniper medal. He got a top gun for 6 tanks destroyed as well. So great game to Grimshold there. Just going to jump onto Abbey Knight now, and this is a game where you'll see that the mobility on the Chinukai is enough. It's not great, but it's enough, especially for Tier 5. So I'm going to be going down the water side here on the 8 line, and we end up all the way into their base pretty much. So now, because, like I said, this thing, it's a good trainer because you can get a decent amount of XP by the end of a game if you just stay alive as long as possible, you know, taking pot shots where available, reducing your exposure, and, you know, just racking up a fair bit of damage. Even on some losses, I'll still get 1,000 plus XP. And the amount of tank XP that you earn is how do I explain this? The amount of crew XP you earn by the end of the game is completely... it's the same relation to how much tank XP you earn. If you earn a lot of tank XP, you'll have earned your crew a lot of crew XP for that very same game. That's why I feel this is a good trainer. Now, in these games here, I only have Mentor about 50 or 60% trained. I actually have it done by now, and I'm working on Brothers in Arms, because I'm going to get those two to stack. With Mentor earning an extra 10% crew XP per game, plus Brothers in Arms stacking with it, so I'm earning an extra 15% crew XP per game in this thing. I can play, a few more games, get another 1 or 2 skills after those, and I'm leaning towards getting repairs before I get Sixth Sense. Those are the 2 skills that I want prepped and ready for when the STB-1 is available, because it's a medium tank. I need repairs on it, as I have with all my other medium tanks, and I need Sixth Sense on it, as I do with all my other medium tanks. And then I'm just going to take it from there, figure out what I want to do. Probably go camouflage for my 5th one. Who knows? But this is a good trainer because I've only played maybe 60, 70 games in it, and I'm already working on a 2nd skill, and I have it quite a bit trained. So it's not bad, It's not bad. It's going pretty well. And all in all, once I got the proper hang of this tank, it's actually not a bad tank to play. I kind of enjoy playing it. It's not a traditional medium tank, but I can still go where needed, put my gun where needed, do my damage where needed. I chose to go after this M4. I'm not too sure why. If I remember right, I chose him over the M2 medium over there because I believe this Sherman had the derp gun, and he was the greater threat at the time. Normally I would pick on the M2 Light because the M2 Light has less HP, and I would be able to take him out much more quickly, thus just taking off one more gun off the enemy team. Or sorry, M2 Medium. Blech, what am I saying? But I'm able to quickly dispatch him afterwards anyways, once that M4 was gone. M2 Medium actually bounced off of me there, which was very surprising. Alright, so now I've got a Panzer Souffle toaster bust right up above me here. Looks like he's getting blasted by a pom-pom or something on a Cruiser 4 or whatever. Oh, never mind. It's a T-80 behind me. My mistake. So from there, it's just going to be cruising on over, trying to get some more damage in. There's a heavy tank on the west side of the map. Oh, there's also a medium tank there. So I'm just going to try and get into position to shoot this T1 Heavy and this Hetzer and help out the guys in the middle here. This T1 Heavy's ass is exposed to me. I'm able to get a shot on him, and it just pens right through that side armor, even with it heavily angled on me like this. Tried for a turret shot, didn't really go so well. He turned it back towards me. Gonna try a shot on this Hetzer. Looks like I just completely missed, and he just derped me with the derp gun. Now that's a major problem with the Chi-Nu-Kai here, is because it has such low armor, both derp guns, so shooting high explosive at you, as well as artillery, can absolutely wreck this tank, like really, really freaking badly. I've been one-shot by just about every kind of artillery that this tank can see, because the armor is so thin that they're pretty much a guaranteed penetrating artillery high explosive shot on me, and it's just boom, I'm done. That's with the few times that they directly hit me. Right there, no problem penning the front of that T1 Heavy, easy peasy. So at this point, I don't think I'm going to get over there to help that heavy tank in time. And the light tank back at base is going to be dealt with. He's got 2-3 people closing in on him. We don't want to lose this one, obviously. And there we go. That's the game there. So, mission accomplished. Decent game. Should be a decent haul there. Take a look here. Right on. That's a good ×3. Helps that I got a high caliber medal, of course. Not bad. Just under 6,000 XP. So that's going to be a decent boost in the crew training there. Did over 1,100 damage with 4 tanks destroyed. Not bad at all. Not bad at all. And that's what I mean. If you stay long enough in the game, you just keep a line of sight on enemies, you can actually dump out some decent damage by the end of the game with this tank. And that's why it's a good crew trainer. The more damage you deal, the more XP you'll gain in the end, the quicker you'll train your crew with it. So that's why I would recommend this tank. Now we're going to jump onto Wide Park here. So something else about the Chi-Nu-Kai that isn't exactly explained until you buy it. It was actually given preferential matchmaking. Apparently the super testers, I don't want to say bitched about it, but suggested that it get preferential matchmaking. So Wargaming decided, you know what? Yeah, we'll give it preferential matchmaking because the gun was very, very lackluster at Tier 7, apparently. Against Tier 7 tanks, it was just not good enough. Only 125 pen. I can understand that against certain Tier 7 tanks. Most of them, as a matter of fact. So it's very good of Wargaming that they gave it preferential matchmaking. It makes this a very competitive tank for Tiers 5 and 6. Just make sure you don't use this tank when you're platooning with other tier buddies that are playing Tier 5 tanks, because they might drag you into a Tier 7 or higher class of game. And that would just be a nightmare for this thing, because you'd have all sorts of big scary derp guns shooting at you, as well as just big scary guns. You'd have some Russian tank destroyers with 122 mil guns, for crying out loud, and really big bad artillery like the fast firing M12, for example. So here I'm just trying to spot some guys and hopefully get some shots, but this KB1 just apparently didn't really like me, so he's just like, you know what, fuck you, I'm going to come over here and say fuck your couch, and I'm going to shoot the piss out of you. So while he's sitting there tracked, I've got this DW2 on my left, this douchewagon 2 shooting at me as well, and it's just driving me nuts. So I quickly fixed my turret. Didn't think I was going to last very long. I wanted my turret intact so that I could switch between targets as quickly as possible here. So as you can see, I'm choosing my targets during the reload. Now the KV1 decides going to jump down and ram you. I get one into his side, in his engine. Bounce one off his top there. I auto-bounce that right off his top plate. So the AMX-38 is shooting at me while I'm circling this KV1. I don't know how I managed to circle this KV1, but he's turning his turret in the opposite direction. And I caught that, so I immediately turned the other way. AMX-38, I get a nice hit on him. He's a little over half dead, and I know artillery is shooting at me as well, so that's a bit of a problem. I'm trying to get on this hill, protect myself as best as possible from artillery. Maybe get a side shot on this Stug 3 or T-34. See if I can make something happen here. That shot missed, not sure where it went. And artillery hits me. On the side of a slope like that, he would have had a pretty frickin' huge reticule. Doesn't matter what artillery you're in. That was one hell of a lucky hit. But that's okay. I'm not entirely broken up or torn up about that. So we've got the toaster sitting in the back here, sniping down underneath the bridge as well. Artillery's in play. We got an AT-2 rolling over. Looks like this FCM-36 Pack 40 is about to get fucked. And this T-14 is in trouble as well, because he's got a big rush coming. They got two TDs pushing on the far right, with that AMX-38 in the very middle still. So, anyways, like I said, Chinukai, interesting tank. Not like a traditional medium, but it's, like I said, it has just enough positives where you can be successful in it. And if you're successful in the tank, it'll be a good trainer for you. Ooh, that T-34 just got whacked. It'll be a good trainer for you if you want to prepare a crew for the Japanese lines when they come out. Like I said, if I remember right, there is a one line ends with a scout tank at, I can't exactly remember, Tier 6 or Tier 7. It might even be Tier 5, I don't know. And then there's a second line, which is mostly light tanks up until the final 3 or 4 tiers. Then there are medium tanks ending with the awesome STB-1. The KV-1 just derped that FCM-36 Pack 40. M4 took somebody else out. This Churchill 3 is about to take out this Stug. Yeah, he's gone. So that just leaves the final T-34 on the other team. So, good trainer. I recommend it. It's really cheap right now as well. 1,700 gold. That's what? I believe you can get that with a $10 gold pack. That'll give you 3 days of premium and, you know, a couple other things. I forgot to mention, the premium rounds on the Chinukai, they're AP. So the tracers are white. So you could load this thing up with premium and nobody would be the wiser. Because they'd see white tracers. Oh, he's shooting standard ammo at me. Sneaky, sneaky. I've actually got a few premium rounds loaded up on it for easy pens on things like KV-1s, KV-2s, KV-220s, that kind of stuff. Ooh, the toaster bus just missed him. So it looks like this T-34 is rushing in. He just wants another kill before the game ends here. I think he knows he can't clutch it, so he's going to go over and try and kill artillery here. So let's... Oh! And boom! M37 shotguns him. That was awesome! I'm glad I recorded that one. That was great. Just jumps up in the air like that, and artillery just got in a clutch shotgun right there. So, as you can see, I still got 1750 experience and another sniper medal. I only dealt 882 damage, but it was enough, especially with that sniper medal. 12 shots, fired 12 hits, so good stuff. And a good game to that M37 artillery with that shotgun. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this special tank talk covering the premium Chi Nu Kai. See you next time, guys. Mobius Y out.